Good morning, children. Hope all is well with you. Today, we will be reading a lesson called Pretty as a Picture. Now tell me, children, all of you must be clicking pictures using your mobile phones. And when do you all like your pictures? Yes, when you're all dressed up and looking very pretty in the picture. So when things are perfect and neat, the picture looks pretty and perfect. Today's story is about a classroom which the teacher gets perfectly clean and tidy by the children. And that's why we are calling the lesson Pretty as a Picture. So let's read this lesson together. Pretty as a Picture. Right on the first day of school, our new class teacher, Miss Nina, told us that the last period on every Friday would be story time. We all decided immediately she must be the best teacher in the world. We hoped she knew enough stories for all the Fridays of the year. So, Friday came and we got more and more excited till at last the bell rang for the last period. We reminded her right away about her promise. So children, whenever you go to a new class at the start of the year, you get a new class teacher. So when these children entered their classroom, they too got a new class teacher whose name was Miss Nina. Miss Nina told the children that on the last period every Friday she would tell them stories. And all children love listening to stories. So the children were very happy to hear this, and they thought that their new class teacher was the best teacher in the whole world. They were very excited and happy. So, Friday came finally. Children were waiting for the last period to come so that they could hear Miss Nina's story. Finally, the bell rang for the last period. All the children were very happy, and Miss Nina entered the classroom. They reminded Miss Nina that she had promised all of them that last period every Friday she would tell them a story. So children, who was the new class teacher? Yes, Miss Nina. And what did the teacher promise the students? The teacher promised the students to tell them stories on the last period every Friday. Yes, of course, she said happily. But as she looked around the class, we could see her face changing. Oh dear, I was going to tell you such a lovely story, but it looks as if that will have to wait. No, said everyone. That's not fair. Look at the classroom, Miss Nina said. How can we enjoy a story with all this rubbish all over the floor? So children, when the children reminded Miss Nina that she had to tell them a story, she agreed. But when she looked around the classroom, she changed her face. She was a bit upset. Why? Because the classroom was messy. The children had thrown things here and there on the floor. The benches were all not properly placed. It was looking very untidy. So Miss Nina told the children, I cannot tell you a story when your classroom is so untidy. Can you see the picture? The children have thrown many things on the floor. Why did Miss Nina not tell the story when she entered the class? Yes, Miss Nina did not tell the story when she entered the class because she found the class very messy with rubbish thrown all over the floor. Let's see what happens next. So everyone went scurrying around picking up paper and pencil stubs and putting them in the waste paper basket. What a confusion there was! But Miss Nina was not satisfied. The desks and benches are all crooked, she said. So up popped everyone once again, straightened out the rows quickly, and put them all in perfect order. That's much better, she said. But look at yourselves. Ribbons undone, shirts hanging out, shoelaces open, belts askew. Anything for the story, we thought. And as quickly as possible, we tidied ourselves up. We kept asking the kids around us to tell us if we were looking tidy enough. No mirrors in the classroom, you know. But this silly Shirin splat was all undone. Sonia had to do it all over again for her and tie the bow too. The meaning of the word scurrying is hurrying and moving quickly. Crooked means twisted or teda. Popped is to move softly and quietly. Askew means not straight. So children, when Miss Nina told them that the classroom was messy and so she couldn't tell them a story, all the children quickly got up and started running around cleaning up the class. They picked up the papers that were thrown. They picked up the pencil stubs or the pencil points that were fallen and put everything in the dustbin. Though the classroom was clean, Miss Nina was still not happy. Why? Yes, the benches and desks also were all placed anyhow. So she told them to make it proper. So quickly everyone again got up and kept their desks and benches straight in the line. She was a bit happy now. But then she told them, your classroom is clean. But look at y'all. Y'all are looking messy too. Somebody's ribbons from the hair are opened up. Some children's shirts are come out. Some children's shoelaces are open. Some children's belts are open and out. Tidy yourselves up too, come on. So the children quickly started tidying themselves up. They tied their shoelaces, put their shirts inside, put their belts properly, combed their hair well. But as you know, we don't have mirrors in the classroom. So how do you know if you look proper? They asked each other. But Shirin, her hair was still messed up because her plait means choti, had all opened up. So her friend Sonia tied her plait again and put a bow on it. So now all were tidy. All of them were now properly dressed up. So along with the classroom, the children too had become neat and tidy. What all did Miss Nina want the kids to clean up? She wanted them to clean up the rubbish on the floor, to arrange the desks and benches, and also to clean themselves up. Now let's see if Miss Nina was happy now. One last thing, Miss Nina said. You'll be in a hurry when the story is over. So how about putting away all your things into your bags right now? All the books, all notebooks. Don't forget the compass box. Have you put away your pencil, your rubber, your ruler, the pack of color pencils? Good. Now your tiffin and water bottle. There's a place for everything. So put everything in its right place. So children, after everything was clean, Miss Nina told them that if I tell you the story, then at the end when the story is over, you'll be in a hurry to pack up and go because the school bus will be waiting. So you'll do one thing, you'll pack up your bags ready to go home now only. And after that I'll tell you all the story. So put all your things neatly in your bags and sit ready for your story. What was the last thing that Miss Nina wanted the kids to do? She wanted to put all their things back into their school bag. Well, we were all done except Rahul and Anwar. They couldn't find their diaries. And Sheila, who couldn't find the cap of her pen. And Beena, who had lost the cup from her water bottle. And everyone was making such a noise trying to help. I thought we would never finish and Miss Nina would be too angry to tell us a story. So children, most of the children were ready. But Rahul and Anwar couldn't find their school diary. And Sheila was searching for the cap of her pen. And Beena was searching for the cup from her water bottle. Everyone was trying to help them find it quickly so that they could hear the story. Name the children who couldn't find their diaries. Rahul and Anwar. And what did Beena lose? She lost the cup from her water bottle. Now that everything is fine, let's see if Miss Nina is ready to tell them the story. But at last it was all done, and Miss Nina finally smiled broadly. Now that's my favorite class. All spick and span and as clean as a whistle. But is there time for a story? Oh yes, there is. Just a short little one. Short or long, Miss Nina told us a really funny story about a king and a clown. Only it ended too soon, and we were still laughing when the bell rang. So we just thanked Miss Nina and left. Spick and span means neat and clean. Clean and a whistle means very clean and clear. So children, finally Miss Nina was happy that the classroom and the children were looking perfect. Then she checked the time. Was it time to go home? No, there was still little time left for school to get over. So she told the children that she would tell them a short story. And finally she told the children a funny story about a king and a clown. Then the bell rang. The children loved the story and were still laughing. And since everything was already packed up, they thanked Miss Nina, carried their bags and left for home. Did Miss Nina tell the children a story? What was it about? Yes, Miss Nina told the children a story about a king and a clown. By the way, Miss Nina's idea about packing the bag early was really good. My mother said she'd never found my bag so neat before, and I hadn't left anything behind in school either. Now, on Monday when the week began, our class monitor said he had a good idea and he wanted us to listen. He said that we must practice straightening up the classroom and ourselves quickly, just within 5 minutes. That way, we would have time for long stories on Fridays. So, the children came to know that Miss Nina's idea of packing the bag first only was a great idea because, as you know, when the bell rings and you have to go home, you all are in a hurry. So you just carry up the things and throw them in the bag. And sometimes you forget the things in school only. But when the bag is packed before, everything is kept neatly and you check everything before you leave. So when the children came back to school after Saturday Sunday holiday, on Monday, the class monitor decided that they would be neat and clean and organized just like Miss Nina told them. And they would do this every day. And on Fridays, when they would pack up early, they would get to hear long stories from Miss Nina. But he gave them a timing. He told them within 5 minutes we all have to clean the class and be neat and tidy ourselves. So he drew up a 5-minute drill. A 5-minute drill is like a 5-minute exercise where quickly you have to finish all your work in 5 minutes. Here is that drill. In the first minute, start from the last kid in every line. Collect and pass on all paper and rubbish to the kid in the front. And that kid will go and put it in the waste paper basket. So children, from the last child sitting on the bench, the dirt will be collected and passed to the child in the front. They'll keep doing this till it reaches the child on the first bench. And that child on the first bench will go and throw the rubbish in the dustbin. So the work gets done quickly. In the second minute, come out of your place and straighten your desk. Look at the lines on the floor to help you keep it just right. Kids on the ends tell you if your desk is out of line. So second minute, what would the children do? Arrange their desk and benches. And how will they know if it's on the line? The children outside would tell them. Third minute, tie shoelaces and ribbons, tuck in blouses and shirts, straighten dresses and belts. Face your partners to make sure that everything is all right. So in the third minute, the children would dress themselves up properly. They would tie their hair properly, tie their shoelaces, put their shirts inside, straighten up their dresses and belts. And how would they know if they were proper? They will face their partner and ask their partner to check them. Fourth minute, pack your bags. Check all books, notebooks, compass boxes, color pencils, tiffins, water bottles. Have I written my homework? Have I forgotten anything? So the fourth minute was kept for bag packing and writing down the homework. And the fifth minute, sit down quietly and try to guess the story Miss Nina is going to tell. So children, this was the drill told by the class monitor, and in 5 minutes the children would be all ready to hear their story. Meena, the other monitor, suggested that we do this without saying a single word. Great idea. That saves us all the confusion. Miss Nina was so pleased with the 5-minute drill. She said she would also help. She said she would keep looking at her watch and tell us after every minute to hurry up. We practiced starting on Monday itself. It was crazy at first. There were kids giggling and making funny faces, and we felt awkward. But we had to do it for the sake of that story. And do you know what Miss Nina said at the end of the 5-minute drill? She said, "Our class looked as pretty as a picture." We got a full 25-minute story this Friday. Giggling means laughing. Awkward means uneasy. So children, the other monitor in the class, whose name was Meena, told the children that we would do the 5-minute drill without speaking anything so that there would not be any confusion, or else everyone would have just been screaming in class. Miss Nina also was very happy with this new 5-minute drill idea. She decided she would help the children in doing their 5-minute drill by telling them the time each minute. This would make their work faster. The children started doing this on Monday itself. But when you start something new, on the first day, it takes time. So, they were finding it little awkward and funny. But by doing it every day, by the time it was Friday, they were perfect at the 5-minute drill. And because they were all clean up within 5 minutes, they got to hear a full 25-minute story. And Miss Nina was so happy that she told them that their class looked as pretty as a picture. Wasn't it a lovely story? And how good and responsible these children are? How would Miss Nina help the kids with their 5-minute drill? She would keep looking at her watch and tell them after every minute to hurry up. What looked as pretty as a picture? The classroom looked as pretty as a picture. Now let's answer the questions to this lesson. First question, mention the things that make a class untidy. What are the things that makes your class dirty, children? I have given you some examples. You can write your own words too. Some of the things are paper and pencil stubs, books all over the place, crooked desks and benches, dusty charts on the wall, water bottles and tiffin boxes. And what are the things that make a person untidy? Some of the things I've mentioned are uncombed hair, ribbons and belts undone, shirts hanging out, shoelaces untied, not ironed uniform, uneven socks. Uneven socks means when one sock is up and the other may be down. You can write your own ideas of making the class and person untidy. Second question, when do we say the following? Describe one situation when you will say, first one, that's not fair. We say the words that's not fair when we are promised something and not given it. For example, when Mummy promised me I could go out after my studies and then said no, even after I completed it. So Mummy promised you that you can go out and play after your studies. But even though you finished your studies, she didn't allow you. So in this situation, you can say, that's not fair. Second one, that's much better. This sentence can be used when we tell someone to change or improve something and they do it. For example, when mummy tells me to comb my hair nicely and I do it, what will mummy say? That's much better. Write where you will put the following. First one, pencil. Also mention two other things that are kept in each of these places. So children, where will you keep your pencil? In the compass box. And can you think of two other things which can be kept in the compass box? Eraser and sharpener. Second one, cup. Where will you keep the cup in your house? In the kitchen drawer. And what other things can you keep in the kitchen drawer? Saucers and bowls. Third one, banana peel. Banana peel means the skin of the banana after you've eaten the banana. So where will you throw the skin of the banana? In the dustbin. What are the other two things that can go in the dustbin? Waste paper and dirt. Fourth thing is doll. Where will you place the doll? In the toy cupboard. And the other two things in the toy cupboard can be a ball and a car. Use the following phrases in your own sentences. Phrases are short sentences which are not complete and don't have a meaningful sentence. The first phrase is pretty as a picture. And my sentence is, after putting on the new curtains, the room looked as pretty as a picture. You can make your own sentence. You can even use the example of your classroom. Second phrase, spick and span. Spick and span means all clean and tidy. Sentence is, the house was all spick and span before Diwali. Why children? Because we do the cleaning of the house before Diwali. Third phrase, as clean as a whistle, means very clean and clear. I saw that my room was as clean as a whistle before mummy came back home. You could try making your own sentences for these phrases. Write any 5 things you do to tidy up your house. So children, any 5 things that you do to keep your house clean. For example, clean my cupboard, pick up dirt, keep my books back, keep my toys in place, and fold my bed sheet. The last question, how much time do you need to get ready for school? Write in the following table. Children, this you will do on your own because every child will have a different answer. The first column says task. Task means you have to do the thing that you do when you wake up in the morning. And next to that task, write down how much time you take to do the task. For example, the first thing when you get up is what? You brush your teeth. So the first task is brushing my teeth. And time taken can be 5 minutes. Then go to the next task, which could be having a bath. So do all the tasks and how much time you take for those tasks till you get ready for school. Do this as your homework. That's all for today, children. Hope you liked the lesson. And remember to look as pretty as a picture. Always be clean, neat, and tidy wherever you go. Thank you, children, and have a lovely day.